The International Planetary Sunshade, our IPSS, has not only stabilized global temperatures, but also provided critical time for new climate action to take root.
Leo, the sunshade's back on the headlines. Every screen's reporting on it again.
Crazy, it's already 5 years in orbit.
We chose to imagine something bigger. And today, the sunshade not only cools the planet, it delivers clean energy to cities, stations, and supports the world on its path to tackling the climate crisis.
Do you remember how everything started 40 years ago?
It's like the Earth is shouting warnings, and we keep turning up the volume to drown them out. Unseasonal storms, heat waves, monsoons that don't stop. We're not predicting future scenarios anymore. We're watching them unravel in real time.
And every forecast tightens the clock. We've tried ramping up renewable energy and improving efficiency, but the numbers just don't add up. Can we even begin to reverse the effects of climate change?
So, what? We give up?
No, we look up.
What, like space?
Yes! What if we block just a fraction of sunlight, enough to keep the planet from heating up even more?
Imagine if, instead of catching the sun's energy after it reaches us, we could catch it beforehand. Control the flow of heat reaching our planet. Even a small change in incoming solar radiation might buy us time.
Capturing the sunlight in space? That's a radical idea. I never thought about connecting these two things, space and climate change.
A sunshade in space. Let's run the numbers, simulate our idea, and see if this concept holds any promise.
If it works, it buys us time. Time to develop the measures we have on Earth. We could play a part in saving our future. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Astronautical Congress 2025. Our team has the honor of opening the Congress today. We want to address a pressing issue. Climate collapse isn't a threat, it's a timeline, and it's already happening. But we shouldn't be paralyzed and wait for it to get worse. We believe in a story where humanity still has a choice. Our team is daring to dream big. To search for solutions, we looked beyond conventional ideas. We looked beyond planets even. We looked up into space.
When the summer sun is too hot, we block it with a sunshade. Why not do the same thing for the entire Earth? That's what we want to do. We developed a sunshade for the Earth. We're calling it the International Planetary Sunshade. Short, IPSS. It's an engineered opportunity to cool our planet while generating clean energy from orbit. This is not science fiction. Every part of this plan is grounded in science. The purpose of the IPSS is to reflect a small percentage of the sun's rays away from Earth. At the same time, with the solar panels installed on the surface, we will generate clean energy.
We want to place this sunshade in Lagrange point 1, the space between the sun and the Earth, where things can orbit the sun at the same rate as Earth.
But building something of this scale doesn't happen in isolation. This is more than a science project. It's a commitment. One that requires bold leadership and global alignment. That's why we need to collaborate internationally.
Because no single country owns the atmosphere. No nation alone can solve climate collapse. But together, we can choose to intervene, deliberately and responsibly.
If there are any questions, feel free to ask.
All of that sounds great in theory, but how does the energy get from space to Earth?
Think of it like this. We're beaming solar energy down in the form of microwaves. Harmless, focused, and always on target. The receiving stations on Earth convert it back into usable electricity. No wires, just light turned into power.
We're not only fighting climate change on Earth, but leading the way in space-based solar power, a key piece of the global energy transition. By 2050, we'll be building directly in space, using resources from the moon.
But our planet is hurting right now. Global temperatures have shattered records. We already surpassed the 1.5 degree Celsius mark. How do we justify investing billions in this project?
Inaction already costs us billions. And it will get worse. The Institute of Climate in Potsdam found out that climate change will cause around $38 trillion in annual damages by 2050. When you put that number into perspective, the investment in IPSS is incredibly modest. Instead of losing money through inaction, let us invest in action.
Reporting from space, the reflective layer is fully operational. Real-time measurement shows regional temperatures stabilized. Cloud cover is also normalizing.
The reflective version did what it had to. It bought us time. But now it's time for phase 2, energy generation, not just protection.
The photovoltaic modules are in final assembly. Flexible, ultra-thin, and printed from lunar materials. We're starting with a small test section.
These new layers do both. Block excess heat and convert incoming photons directly into electricity. Same sun, but now it powers the planet.
We're not just protecting Earth, we're powering it. Cleanly, continuously, and from orbit.
Module attachment in progress. It's like watching coral grow, except this reef orbits Earth and powers half a continent.
The robots print the parts directly in space with resources from the moon and build autonomously. No emissions, no launch costs, no delay. That's what makes this phase different.
Beam alignment test is successful. Energy transmission stream is steady.
Once fully active, it will deliver more power than any Earth-based source today. We started with a shadow, and now we're turning that shadow into light.
In the beginning, we had a fragile prototype, a spark of an idea. Now, that vision surrounds the Earth.
Recent data confirms the IPSS has stabilized climate indicators, reduced extreme weather events, and contributed to a steady global CO2 decline. Thanks to the system, we are no longer dependent on coal plants and gas.
We lived through collapse, scorching summers, dry riverbeds, melting glaciers. But now, we're seeing change. Real, measurable progress.
It wasn't just the tech. It was a shared purpose. Nations came together, aligned not by certainty, but by vision. They were ready to take the leap. They invested in our future, and that future is here now. And now, the IPSS delivers more energy than anything before, reliably and silently.
This was never just about crisis management. It was about reimagining the role of the sun, not as something to fear, but something to work with. A vision where we don't lose the light. We learn to use it.
Now, in its 10th year, the IPSS program is continuing to supply the Earth with energy. The global transition is happening.
We cast a shadow in space, and in doing so, we illuminated the path forward.